and the drivers race as hard as they can for 30 laps straight.
I'm Tony Laporta, and fans, welcome to High Limit Sprint Car Racing.
High Limit's, it's where it's at. It's a top series. I feel like the drivers, the guys that are, you know, on the road are obviously some of the best, and you're racing just as hard for 15th on back as you are for the win. And I mean, maybe even harder back there. So
I'm Justin Peck, and you're watching Kubota High Limit Racing.
I think it's going to be tough. I think, you know, you're going to see times when they might do super well, they might be podium or might get a win. Then, you know, a few weeks later, they might not make the show. So that's a challenging part of High Limit, and I think we're all looking forward to the challenge.
But to go out and be a part of National Series, be a part of the High Limit Series, race all over the country, you know, I love that aspect of it, and I'm just very honored to have the support of everybody back home.
And we're green.
It's cool to still race with these people, and it's going to be cool if, you know, one of us, of course, are going to come away the Rookie of the Year, so it's cool to be the first if that's going to be me.
Super blessed to have the opportunity and looking to put up a fight.
I'm Aaron Reitzel, and you're watching Kubota High Limit Racing.
High Limit Sprint Car Racing is high stakes, high rewards. Sprint cars are action-packed automobiles. Things happen fast, things happen out of control. You can be close to the action, it's dirty, it's loud, it rattles your brain, and you're not really sure what you're witnessing, but you know you like it.
I'm Tyler Courtney, and you're watching Kubota High Limit Racing.
My name is Chase Randall, and you're watching Kubota High Limit Racing.
For the first time in 6 years, a 410 National Touring Sprint Car Series makes its way into Arizona. It is the Central Arizona Raceway for round number 5 of 2025 with Kubota High Limit Racing. 34 of the best sprint car drivers in the world are making their way around the racetrack right now for engine heat. I am Chase Rodman. It is so great to be here in Arizona. A little bit warmer than what we were used to seeing over the last couple of races with High Limit, but a beautiful day, a huge crowd making its way into the grandstands here, and what an incredible facility they have put together here at this racetrack. So many new things that we will be talking about here tonight have came to this track over the last couple of weeks, including a brand new catch fence. They've got walls on both ends. We've got new grandstands on either side of this place. They've got all kinds of new stuff that's been going on here, and you're getting a good look at it here on the FloRacing drone. And what else I could tell you is they have ran out of seats. There's so many people here, they cannot fit anybody else in the grandstands here tonight for round number 5 of 2025 with High Limit Racing. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. We mentioned it's a little bit warm today, but not too bad. Make that 80 degrees right now. A little bit windy, 15-mile-per-hour winds, and some broken clouds around here in Casa Grande, Arizona. If you don't know what that means, it's a big house. I learned that in Spanish 1 back in sophomore year. So Casa Grande, Arizona is where we're hanging out here for the next 2 nights with High Limit Racing. We mentioned 34 cars, which is an absolutely incredible car count. When you look back to previous races held here in this state, 34 is basically unheard of. Let's take a look at the race schedule for this evening. Hot laps, as we normally see it, the first thing onto the racetrack. Following that will be qualifying, 2 laps on the clock and 2 cars at the same time. And then we'll have Fan Fest after that, so the fans will go back there to the t-shirt trailers, meet up with the drivers. We will bring a driver up here to the booth to talk to while that's going on. 4 heat races, the dash spin roulette wheel to find out who starts where in the dash, a B main that's 12 laps long, a dash that is 7 laps, and the feature tonight, 25 laps long in that one here around this 3/8 mile. Let's look at the track facts. Might see something interesting here as well when we pull up this graphic, but the Central Arizona Raceway been around for a long time. 1973 was when it was opened up. It's gone through a couple of different names here, but they have rested on Central Arizona Raceway. The length, as we mentioned, 3/8 of a mile. You see the track record right there. It is blank. No, that is not a typo. There has never been a 410 wing sprint car show here before. This is the first of its kind, and so we will establish a track record later on during Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. Well, Tony Laporta, there's plenty of storylines to talk about here tonight at the Central Arizona Raceway. We talk about all the new things that are coming into play here with this racetrack and the facility and all that kind of stuff, right? The first race in Arizona in 6 years, first ever 410 race here, but also considering some of our drivers. Cy Lynch not going to be here tonight. He's at his brother's wedding, and so stepping into the car is a guy who hasn't started a sprint car race since 2022. Josh Boffman will fill in for him. There's a lot to watch for here tonight.
Yeah, I got a chance to check in with Josh back in the pit area, Chase, when we first got here. Got a chance to also check in with Kasey Kahne, car owner for Brad Sweet in the 49, also, of course, himself in the number 9. Kasey's been on a tear as of recently, 1 week ago. Had his best career finish ever on a National 410 Touring Series with a second-place finish. I talked to him in the pits just a while ago. So it's Friday night here in Central Arizona. Last Friday night, we were talking to this guy in Whiskey Myers Victory Lane after finishing second to his driver, Brad Sweet. Kasey Kahne Friday. It's a thing, right?
Yeah, it's a good day. See how it all goes. Last Friday was great. We just put the whole night together, and you know, Tate and Andrew did an awesome job, and yeah, I was able to have some fun trying to stay with Brad, but he was definitely a little better, and couldn't quite keep up, but battled Brent Marks went back and forth, second, third throughout the race, and ended up second. So it was a good showing.
You talked, I think, on the podium, or maybe it was an After the Checkers with Brian Walker, and you talked, I think, about it on the Dale Jr. Download with Junior a few weeks ago. And to me, it just feels like you're looser. Like things are a little bit more enjoyable for you this year than the last couple of seasons, whether it was chasing the Outlaws, whether it was last year following High Limit around. What's different? Do you feel lighter? Do you feel looser? I think it like really took me a little while to get back to kind of sprint car form, and I was so focused on the NASCAR thing for so long that and didn't race many sprint car races. Early on in my NASCAR career I did, and then I didn't after that, and I just feel like to do 2 3/4 straight years has helped me a ton. I just have a lot more confidence. I can race and not be just completely worn out at the end of the races. Like I'm more relaxed, I'm more under control, and I'm starting to understand the things that I need from a driving standpoint and how to do a better driving job. So I just think it's taken me a while, and having really good cars helps, but overall, like just understanding it and being able to relax and focus and enjoy it at the same time has been something that hasn't been that easy. And then you talked also about you and Amy, and your daughter, running around the country. I don't think you have the bus this year. You guys have just been in like the SUV, following the trailer around. Yeah. What's been just something super fun away from the racetrack, a memory you guys have gotten to experience this season with High Limit, something that you look back on and go, man, this is what it's really about?
I mean, so far it's just been chasing the trailer and hitting the races. Vegas was a good time. We try to find good restaurants there, and just seeing Anna at the track. Like she's carries around a mud scraper most of the night, and so she's learned that, and it's been fun to do that. We'll have the motorhome later in the year, and for the last couple of years it's the 3 of us, and we have a good time. And then Tanner's with us a lot during the summer once he gets out of school, and that even makes it even better.
That's so cool. Kasey Kahne, it's Kasey Kahne Friday. If you don't know what that is, you got to look it up on Twitter or X or whatever they call it. But Kasey Kahne really building some speed, rolling with momentum these days. Kasey, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks.
A 13th place finish for Kasey Kahne at Tulare. Then, of course, that second in Bakersfield we talked about. And then he went 16th to 10th the last time Kubota High Limit Racing was on track, and that was in Southern California at the Paris Auto Speedway. And I got to say, the reason I asked Kasey about is he looser, does he just feel lighter, it's because interacting with him, he does. He comes off like he's really enjoying his time out here on the road. And I think the results are showing that is, in fact, the case. Folks, Chase Rodman talked about it already. This racetrack here at Central Arizona has gone through a ton of upgrades, and a lot of additions have been made in the last 6 months. Later on tonight, hopefully during Fan Fest, we're going to play an interview I got to have yesterday with Jerry Petty of Avanti Windows and Doors, one of the absolute major contributors to the additions and the improvements here at Central Arizona. So we're going to get to that a little bit later on. We'll be back with more live coverage of Kubota High Limit Racing here in Arizona, live on FloRacing.
Arizona Raceway getting very, very close to Dirt Draft Hot Laps hitting the racetrack for the first time here tonight. Before we get into it, let's take a look at the current point standings with Kubota High Limit Racing. We've got 4 races in the books now, so things are starting to iron out to where they should be. Still a couple of guys up there that will not be there here in about 2 weeks or so, but Brad Sweet currently shows the way. He has a 45-point lead over Tyler Courtney. Brent Marks is 3rd in points. He is 54 back. Rico Ebru is 4th in points. He is 66 back. And then Dominic Selzy, who is not here tonight, currently 5th in the overall point standings, minus 71. Caleb Montgomery is 6th in points. 7th is Austin McCarl. 8th is Tanner Holmes. And then a couple of high rollers there at the back half of the top 10 with Aaron Reitzel in 9th. And Kasey Kahne is 78 points back of his driver, Brad Sweet, in the 10th position in the current series point standings with High Limit Racing. Now, also want to talk about this because in 2025, you have the ability to get in on the action with High Limit Racing. Here are the DFS, or the Daily Fantasy Sports lines for a couple of the drivers that are racing here tonight. If you go to nxtbets.com/playhlr, you can find out which sports books are available in your particular region, and you can get in on the action. They also have a bonus you can claim on there as well to help out with that first ever wager. Here are a couple of drivers. You see them right there, that 2.5 for Brad Sweet, meaning he must finish either better or worse than 2.5 positions, so either 2nd or 3rd. At the very bottom, that is Rodman's Risk, and that is what that's going to be my wager maybe for you to try out at some point throughout the season. I've got Ryan Burnell at worse than 8.5 here tonight. Burnell never been to the Central Arizona Raceway before, and so I'm expecting maybe him to be a 9th or worse here this evening. Tyler Courtney better than 4.5. He did test here a few weeks back, so he has some laps at the racetrack. I think that's going to help him out quite a bit. So better 4.5 for Tyler Courtney. Than Justin Peck, I'm going to put him at worse than 5.5 as of right now. Peck has not gotten a top 5 finish this year with High Limit Racing, so I'm going to go with what we've seen over the last couple of weeks and leave him at 5th or make that 6th or worse here tonight. And there's a couple other guys on there. You see Reitzel and Baston, Brent Marks, and Rico Ebru, Brad Sweet also on that list right there. Looks like we are now ready to get into our first hot lap session of the night as cars make their way onto the speedway right now. Driver that we saw back at the season opener in Las Vegas makes his way on the backstretch now. That is the driver out of Hilo, Hawaii, the J.G. Ponton Racing, Ream Industries, Fast Track Designs, Carrick Towing. Number 24P, it's Dalen Pereira. Dalen Pereira in the 24P. And making his High Limit Racing debut tonight from Gilbert, Arizona, the Avanti Windows and Doors, AME Electrical, Massey Valley Transportation, number 19 AZ, it's Hayden Reinbold. Hayden Reinbold in the 19 AZ. And from Minden, Nevada, driving the JST Motorsports, the Ritual, Smith Titanium Factory Cane, Maxima Racing Oils, number 88, that is Tanner Thorson. Tanner Thorson in car number 88. Waiting for a few more drivers to make their way onto the speedway. This is essentially a practice session for the drivers here. We call it hot laps in dirt track racing if you are not familiar. And Dirt Draft is the sponsor. They have a new feature for 2025. It's called Dirt Draft Leagues, which allows users to create private multi-event competitions and leaderboards going head-to-head with friends, family, rivals, or whoever they choose to invite. Users can customize the league length, weekly, monthly, season-long, or anything in between. And there are a bunch of different features to check out when it comes to Dirt Draft Leagues. Make sure to download the Dirt Draft app today, and you can figure out what kind of things you could do on there. You can also earn points in the speed shop during the Dirt Draft Leagues as well. So a pretty cool deal they're trying out here for 2025. You can make a league that just follows High Limit, a league for USAC, or whatever you want to do. Check it out on the Dirt Draft app today. Also did want to say a quick thank you as well to Avanti Windows and Doors. They are the official sponsor of the Duel in the Desert. Avanti proudly installs all window and patio door systems that they manufacture to ensure the highest level of quality and operation to their customers. To learn more about Avanti Windows and Doors, go to avantiwindow.com. Next driver rolling onto the racetrack comes to us out of Monrovia, Indiana. He drives the Skagit Speedway, Race Redeem Foundations, Ford Performance, Hager Realty Services, number 26. That is Justin Peck. Justin Peck in car number 26. And also making his way trackside, the most recent winner with High Limit Racing from Clute, Texas, the Fulkins Brothers Trucking, STC, American Table, B&L Holdings, Power Plus, number 87 of Aaron Reitzel. Aaron Reitzel in car number 87. Another driver making his way down the push chute now and towards the racing surface, making his High Limit Racing debut here tonight. From El Paso, Texas, the Bud Long Motorsports All-Star Performance, Burt's Body Works, Visual Noise Graphics, number 45X. That is Don Grable. Don Grable in car number 45X. There you see Don Grable right there in the 45X car. Had a top 10 finish here last season, the Central Arizona Raceway. That was with the POWRi 360 Series, 8th place result in 2024. And our final driver now makes his way onto the racetrack for our first Dirt Draft Hot Lap session. From Enumclaw, Washington, the Kane Screen Print, Brumo's Collection, Matman Designs, HendrickCars.com, Caravan Trailers, number 9, that's Kasey Kahne. Kasey Kahne in car number 9. Those are the drivers in our first practice session of the night for the first ever winged 410 sprint car race to be held here at Central Arizona Raceway, and the first in 6 years in the state. Cars getting up to speed as the flagman lets them know it's time to get on the hammer here in Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. Car off the pace, it's Hayden Reinbold. And Reinbold is going to, it looks like, pull into the infield, and we should be able to stay green. No, he's not. He's going to park it right, well, now makes it to the infield. So we will stay green as Hayden Reinbold has an issue, pulls into the infield. Fastest lap currently is set by Justin Peck at a 16.723. 16723. Looks like the track is still certainly greasy out there right now. A little bit of moisture still to be worked into the surface. Kasey Kahne currently second overall at a 17.141. Tanner Thorson in third at 17.197. Thorson jumps into that third spot as the yellow lights come on. So yellow lights come on for our first Dirt Draft Hot Lap session. You notice it is not the checkered flag, meaning now that the drivers will pace around the speedway very, very slowly to help work in that moisture. As you mentioned, only a 16.7 lap time right now. I'm not exactly sure what the times will be. We don't really have a good gauge on it. We don't know what to expect as far as lap times, but I can certainly tell you it'll be faster than 16.7. Tony, you got an update on us for Hayden Reinbold?
Yeah, stuck my head inside the cage of Hayden Reinbold's machine. Just said motor, and all he said was that it just quit running. So they're obviously hopeful it's nothing terminal, but the engine just kind of shutting off on him as he made his first attempt at a lap there during Dirt Draft Hot Lap session number 1. They're going to take that car back to the pit area and diagnose as quick as they can. If I hear anything from Paul Bunyan, I will let you know.
Thank you very much, Tony. Hayden Reinbold has been here to Central Arizona Raceway before. He was 8th last year during a POWRi 360 Series race. He's also ran second here without the wing on top of the car in 2024. Best winged 410 sprint car finish came last year at a 6th place run at the Paragon Speedway in Indiana with the fast sprint cars. As Reinbold makes his way back to the trailer. So we did get a little note here that last year, when the 360s were in town, they ran a 13.8, a couple of them did during the heat races. So we are maybe about 3 seconds off of the times that we expect to see during qualifying here in just a little bit. As the green lights come on, we'll see what kind of times they'll turn now. And Justin Peck now into the 15-second bracket at 15.465. Aaron Reitzel now goes to the top at 15.320. Tanner Thorson to the 3rd spot. Dalen Pereira into the top 5 as the checkered flag comes out. Aaron Reitzel drops it in the 14-second bracket now at 14.832. Justin Peck now into the 14s as well. 14.992 as the checkered is out. And the fastest driver so far in Dirt Draft Hot Laps tonight, the only high roller with racing experience here at this racetrack, it's Aaron Reitzel, 14.832. He's the quickest over Justin Peck at a 14.992. Third quick, Kasey Kahne, 15.425. Don Grable, fourth quick, 15.894. And Tanner Thorson in fifth at a 16.066. And then Dalen Pereira, the other car that was on the racetrack, he is P6 overall at a 16.380. Mentioned Reitzel does have laps here at this track. It was back in 2013. That was without the wing on top of the car, and the track did not have a wall then. So things have certainly changed a lot since Reitzel was here the last time, over 10 years ago. So interesting situation here with the cars having to come onto the racetrack and off the track in the same spot here on the front straightaway. Takes a little bit longer to get that next group fired off as they share a push-off lane and an exit lane as well. As I say that, we see the next group of cars making their way towards the racing surface, led out by one of the drivers from right here in Arizona. From Glendale, it's the Gary Silva Ranches Safety Clean Moose Selzy Barn Grill XXX Chassis number 7 of Ashton Torgerson. Ashton Torgerson in car number 7. The other number 7 car now making its way onto the racetrack as well. From Indianapolis, Indiana, the NOS Energy Drink, Spire Motorsports, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Brant, Gainbridge, number 7 BC, Sunshine, Tyler Courtney. Tyler Courtney in car number 7 BC. Another driver making his Central Arizona Raceway debut tonight. From Clovis, California, the Gary Silva Ranches, Smith Titanium JI Apparel, MPD Racing, number 10 of Dominic Gordon. Dominic Gordon in car number 10. Dominic Gordon, a car we were not expecting until about yesterday to come out here and race with High Limit at Central Arizona Raceway. Made his first 2 features of his career with High Limit last week. Ran 16th at Kern and 20th at Paris. Had a top 10 finish with NARC at Stockton a few weeks back. His best 410 run of the season. Also getting fired off now from Northport, Florida, driving the Global Link Moxie Performance Sports Advisors Creative Products Group, number 24D. That's Danny Sams III. Danny Sams III in car number 24D. And also getting pushed off now from Jacksonville, Oregon, the Tarleton & Son, American Rock and Rent, Durst Incorporated, High Performance Lubricants, number 21. That is Tanner Holmes. Tanner Holmes in car number 21. And subbing in for Cy Lynch here this evening from Odessa, Texas, the Mosinys Motorsports, Ducati of Pittsburgh, Hollywood Blasting and Coating, Mountain Mechanical, MAV Motorsports, number 42. It's Josh Boffman. Josh Boffman in car number 42. And making his way into turn number 1 now from Benton, Arkansas, the Lifestyle Homes, Michael Dutcher Motorsports, MPV Logistics, Parallax Motorsports, number 17 GP, it is Landon Crawley. Landon Crawley in the 17 GP. Good look at our camera guys on the roof of the main grandstand here. Appreciate all the work that they do all throughout the season. Not an easy job, especially when it gets cold outside. As we get underway with our second Dirt Draft Hot Lap session of the night here at the Avanti Duel in the Desert. Tyler Courtney up to the second spot so far here in hot lap session number 2 at a 14.865, not too far off the time by Reitzel. Ashton Torgerson and Tanner Holmes both into the top 5. Holmes in 4th at a 15.026. Yellow lights come on. And I do believe we'll see a little bit of the same from what we saw in that first session, where the drivers will pace slowly around the 3/8 mile and make sure to work that extra moisture into the speedway. They have been really watering this thing here throughout the week. Talking to Jerry Petty yesterday, they have been putting a ton of work into the racing surface here, getting prepared for a big weekend with Kubota High-Limit Racing. And so that extra water showing here right now, but it will not take much to get that worked out of the surface. As you look at Tyler Courtney, we mentioned him, did do some testing here a few weeks back before we went over to Las Vegas. And right now he is 3rd overall, but the quickest driver in this group is Danny Sams. He will be the driver we bring up later on during FanFest. Danny Sams is 2nd quick right now at a 14.857. 5th race of the year for Danny Sams, and he has not seen a racetrack that he's ever seen before so far. Every track that Danny Sams has been to so far have been brand new to him. Tulare, Vegas, Kern, Paris, and now tonight at the Central Arizona Raceway. Currently 2nd overall in Dirt Draft Hot Laps. As we mentioned, we have FanFest later on after qualifying. And while that's going on, we'll bring Danny Sams up here to the booth and have a little chat with him and hear how things are going so far. One of our Race Redeem Foundation Rookie of the Year contenders. And there is Landon Crawley, the new driver, the Michael Dutcher Motorsports number 17 GP for 2025. Tonight, Landon's debut here at this facility. Has ran quite a bit with the World of Outlaws so far this year. His best run with them was a 21st at the Cotton Bowl Speedway in Texas. Best 410 finish overall for Landon Crawley this year was a 9th with the POWRi Elite Outlaw Series at I-37 in Texas. As the green lights come back on for our 2nd session of the night. There is Josh Boffman, first 410 sprint car start in 3 years. Last one was at the Sharon Speedway in Ohio with the All-Star Circuit of Champions. Only other race Boffman done since then was the Chili Bowl. Danny Sams now goes to the top. As I say that, so does Tyler Courtney. 13-second lap time now, 13.929. Tanner Holmes right behind him, 2nd overall at 14.054. Now Boffman to 2nd. Now Sams back to the top. Moving and shaking here inside the top 5 as the track is certainly speeding up right now. Checkers out, yellows on. And so the new fastest driver here in practice session number 2 is Tyler Courtney at a 13.548. Danny Sams is 2nd now at a 13.756. Tanner Holmes in 3rd at 13.893. Dominic Gordon 4th at 14.028. And Josh Boffman in the 42 is 5th quick overall at 14.049. So Boffman, not too bad there for not being behind the wheel of a 410 sprint car in 3 years. Filling in tonight once again for Cy Lynch, who is at his brother's wedding tonight. He'll be back here tomorrow. So it's Courtney, Sams, Holmes, Gordon, Boffman, then Torgerson, Crawley, Reitzel, Peck, Kahne, and Grable. That session makes its way back toward the pit area, get themselves prepared for Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. I am being informed that the first group of drivers will come back onto the racetrack here after group number 4, because the track has sped up so significantly that when they came out for qualifying, it just would not be fair. They came out on the track when it was running 15s and 16-second lap times, and now we're down in the mid-13s. So that first group will come back out here in just a few moments. Here is our third hot lap session of the night. First driver onto the racetrack from Enumclaw, Washington, driving the PGH Excavating, Siler's Concrete, Missile Motorsports, Big Mountain Enterprises. Number 19T, that is Colby Thornhill. Colby Thornhill in the 19T. And from Tempe, Arizona, the All-Star Performance DRC Chassis Z-Max number 34 of Sterling Kling. Sterling Kling in car number 34. From St. Helena, California, the Rico Abreu, Kerbag and JD Racing, Pacific Boring, Stadelhofer Construction, Waste Connections, ArcZone.com. Number 24, it's Rico Abreu. Rico Abreu in car number 24. And also making her way onto the speedway from Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental, Jocko Sprint Parts, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Chuck D's Wieners, number 4C of Tuesday Calderwood. Tuesday Calderwood in car number 4C. Excuse me, that's actually the 4J, being scored 4J for Tuesday Calderwood. Also on the racetrack from Myerstown, Pennsylvania, the M&M Painting and Construction, McGrew Equipment Auctions, Babs Paint, Livewire Customs. Number 19, that is Brent Marks. Brent Marks in the 19. And the current points leader with Kubota Highlander Racing makes his way into turn number 3 now. From Grass Valley, California, the Napa Auto Parts, Bruno's Collection, Durst Incorporated, Factory Cane, Self-Storage at Tahali. Number 49, it's the Big Cat, Brad Sweet. Brad Sweet in the 49. And what looks to be the final driver in this session, making his way into turn number 1 now from Templeton, California, the David Cry Engineering, MP Environmental, Luxton Real Estate, Woodland Auto Display number 3 of Caleb Montgomery. Caleb Montgomery in the 3. Montgomery comes into the night 6th overall in the High Limit Racing point standings after a top 5 run at the Paris Auto Speedway last Saturday night. His first ever National Touring top 5, as the green lights come on for our third Dirt Draft hot lap session of the night. Colby Thornhill, second quick. Rico Abreu, fourth quick. Brent Marks now second. Caleb Montgomery to 7th. Brad Sweet goes to the top. Rico right behind him as the checkered comes out on our third session of the night. On his final lap by, Rico Abreu, the fastest driver now in Dirt Draft hot laps at a 13.296. 1.3296 for Rico. Second quick is now Brad Sweet, 13.409. Then Tyler Courtney third. Brent Marks is fourth at a 13.560. And Colby Thornhill in fifth at a 13.616. Danny Sams, Caleb Montgomery, Sterling Kling, Tanner Holmes, and Tuesday Calderwood is in the top 10 right now in car number 4J. There is Rico Abreu, enters the evening in the 4th position in the point standings. Last 3 finishes for Abreu. 6th at Paris, 19th, made that 18th at Kern, and 3rd at the Tulare Thunderbolt. So a little hiccup there at Kern, got into a wreck on the first lap, and has put him a little bit behind the 8 ball here to open things up. As we now look for our 4th session of the night to roll onto the racetrack. After that, we'll bring the first group of cars back out, and then we'll go to the 5th group, and then get into Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. Next driver rolling onto the racetrack is from Lubbock, Texas. He drives the Horizon Whiskey, Nice Crete and Landis block, shoptruckparts.com, fillpools.com. Number 5, Brenham Crouch. Brenham Crouch in car number 5. And making his High Limit Racing debut tonight from Tempe, Arizona, the Jan's Metalworks, Beard Vet Coffee, Mazatol Dirtworks, Interstate Rec Rebuilders, number 44 of JT Imperial. JT Imperial in car number 44. From Lebanon, Indiana, the Sander Engineering, Four Seas Construction, Tally, Autry Plumbing, Sincal Demolition, number 14 of Spencer Baston. Spencer Baston in the 14. And coming to us from Hollister, California, the NOS Energy Drink, Inland Rigging, MP Environmental, Woodland Auto Display number 73 of Ryan Burnell. Ryan Burnell in car number 73. And the DJ of the night rolls onto the racetrack from Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Pella Avanti Windows and Doors, Big Spring Car Wash, Water Treatment by Design, number 13 of Dason Persley. Dason Persley in the 13. And another driver making his season debut with High Limit rolls on the racetrack now from Tucson, Arizona. The Parker Automotive, Metal Tech Fabrication, TDR Concepts, BG Oil, number 15 of Nick Parker. Nick Parker in car number 15. And making his High Limit Racing and his 410 Sprint Car debut tonight from Cottonwood, Arizona, the Black Hills Auto Electric, Mike's Resto Rods, Interstate Batteries, Hanson's Tools, number 17. That is Ryan Walter. Ryan Walter in the 17. Hey, Tony, you there? Did you hear the hometown of Ryan Walter there?
Chase, I did not. I was hanging on every other word you said. Well, run it by me again.
Ryan Walter from Cottonwood, Arizona. Remember that one time when you picked me up from my parents' house last year during the West Coast Swing? That was in Cottonwood, California. So me and Ryan Walter, you know, could be best buddies. Maybe.
I mean, the similarities are astounding. I did get a chance to talk to Ryan back in the pit area before we got going about Cottonwood and how he's raced here pretty much his whole career and how excited he is to get to go, in his words, against the fastest sprint car drivers and teams in the country. Ryan Walter talked about how much he respects the fact that he is here racing at Central Arizona Raceway against Kubota High Limit Racing. But Chase, once he finds out that he's from the same town with the same name as you, that's going to really change the game, I think.
That is going to be huge when he finds that out as the checkered flag comes out on that 4th session. And how about Brenham Crouch? Fastest overall now in Dirt Draft Hot Laps to the CJB Motorsports number 5. Crouch, a 13.035 for the lap time, so almost into the 12s. Spencer Baston now second at 13.248. Rico Aber is third. The DJ of the night, Dason Persley, is 4th overall at 13.399. And then Brad Sweet in 5th, followed by Ryan Burnell, Tyler Courtney, Brent Marks, Colby Thornhill, and JT Imperial is 10th. He was in that last group as well. So that group will make their way back to the pit area. And now we will bring the drivers back onto the racetrack that were in the first hot lap session. As we mentioned, the track has picked up significant speed since they were on the track earlier on. The fastest was Aaron Reitzel. He was at a 14.8. That is a 1.8 second difference from where the track is right now. So only seems fair to let these guys come out there and allow them to get a couple laps on the track that they'll be more similar to what they'll see in qualifying in just a few moments. There'll be a green-white checkered here for these drivers. Got Tanner Thorson out there in car number 88, the Rod Gross Motorsports entry. There is Justin Peck in the Rudine Racing 26. Did see Kevin Rudine walking around earlier on in the pit area. Good to see Kevin here at the racetrack. Also see Aaron Reitzel out there in the Ridge and Sun Racing number 87. The number 9 of Kasey Kahne, obviously driving that KKR number 9. 45X of Don Grable. There is the 19 AZ of Hayden Reinbold, who, remember, he pulled into the infield earlier on his hot lap run. And Tony, it sounds like you do have an update for us.
Team co-owner Andy Reinbold, also father of the driver Hayden Reinbold, updating us, letting us know it was a fuel line issue. So that's why the engine cut off. Also, Tanner Thorson out there in the Rod Gross Motorsports number 88, they had an ignition box go bad on them during engine heat. Chase, if you remember that, he pulled off to the inside over in turn number 1. So both the 88 of Thorson and the 19 of Reinbold good to go here in hot laps.
Well, it's one of those. I think this is the first time all year we've had the first group come back out. So it was a good time to have issues and be able to still get some practice laps in. Did want to mention Dalen Pereira also out there in 24P. As we mentioned, green, white, checkered. See if any of these guys can jump into the top 5. Get some lap times registering here in just a moment. White flag is out. Do get a couple drivers in the top 5. Aaron Reitzel is one of them into the 12s at a 12.867. Kasey Kahne also up there as well. But the checkered and yellow come out, and Aaron Reitzel now leads the way in dirt draft hot laps at 12.867 seconds. Brenham Crouch in second. Kasey Kahne is third at 13.198. Then Spencer Based fourth, and Rico Eber in fifth. Dason Persley, Justin Peck in that group was seventh. Brad Sweet, Ryan Burnell, and Tanner Thorson in that group as well was 10th. And Tony, I'll tell you, standing up here, I don't know if it's just this place or what's going on. Maybe I haven't seen a sprint car in about a week or so, but it looks like they are flat out getting after it around this place right now.
Yeah, absolutely, Chase. 3/8 of a mile of this redone, revamped, re-energized Central Arizona Raceway. The cars are flying, and they're probably fueled just a little bit extra by this huge crowd we've got here. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys think of High Limit Racing so far here tonight? We're getting ready to go with Capital Custom Trailers and Carts qualifying, Chase.
We are after this group, though, Tony. Got one more hot lap session to roll out. As we've got our first driver making his way onto the racetrack, which is an interesting story in and of itself as he makes his way into turn number 1 out of Monroe, Washington. The Upland Developers, Crawford's Auto Repair, Affordable Powder Coating, CoastalRaceParts.com number 8. It's Jake Helzel. Jake Helzel making his High Limit Racing debut tonight in car number 8. And also on the racetrack is Austin McCarl out of Altoona, Iowa. The Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West, Bosma Family Farms, Tucker Trucking, number 88. And behind him on the racetrack, from the Pacific Northwest, he is out of Cobble Hill, British Columbia, Canada. The Shark Engines, Grinders Auto and Marine, Saratoga Motorsports Park, Malahat Auto Wrecking, number 21P. It's Robbie Price. Robbie Price in the 21P. And from Tempe, Arizona, the Lori Kiao, Coors Light Gang, C&R Machine, Apache Transport, number 2 of Alex Pettis. Alex Pettis in car number 2. And one of our Race Redeem Foundation Rookie of the Year contenders out of Waco, Texas, the All Bar Your Alternative, Infamous Inc., Bush's Chicken, Flint Rock Ranch, Easy Print. Number 9R, the Quickest Chicken, Chase Randall. Chase Randall in the 9R. And what should be the final car on the racetrack out of Billings, Montana, that is Joe Perry, driving the C&L Service JJM Performance, Velt Clothing, Big Sky Speedway, number 28. Tony, I did want to mention this while he's out there. Jake Helzel, last year a crew member of the Boog Motorsports number 13 car, and he is himself a very, very good race car driver. Got 2 wins here last year in the Power Ride 360 Series, and now tonight making his High Limit Racing debut with the series that he worked for and he worked with all year last year.
Chase, he's not just making his debut here as a driver with Kubota High Limit Racing. Jake Helzel is making his 410 wing sprint car debut here tonight. He's got one night in a 410 non-wing car when USAC visited Arizona back in the fall of 2021, but he is racing a 410 wing sprint car. Jake Helzel is for the first time ever tonight.
Well, he's 8th quick right now in dirt draft hot laps, so a pretty good lap there for Helzel. Austin McCarl is 3rd, Chase Randall is 4th, Robbie Price is 6th as the checkered flag comes out on our final session. So there it is. Dirt Draft Hot Laps is done and dusted. Aaron Reitzel, the fastest overall at a 12.867 seconds in car number 87. Brenham Crouch, second quick overall tonight, 13.035. Austin McCarl on your screen was the best in that group. He's third overall, 13.082. Then Chase Randall, fourth quick at a 13.171. Robbie Price in fifth, 13.193. Kasey Kahne, Spencer Baston, Jake Helzel, Rico Abreu, and Dason Persley rounding out the top 10 in Dirt Draft Hot Laps here tonight. So those cars will now make their way over to the trailers, and we will get ready, speaking of trailers, for Capital Custom Trailers and Coaches qualifying. They are the #1 Renegade Toterhome dealers and the #1 Intech trailer dealers. No one sells more Toterhomes or Intech trailers than Capital Renegade Custom Trailers and Coaches. If you're in the market for a Toterhome or a trailer, trust the people that are there in the pits with you and that support the sport. Check out their complete lineup at www.capitalrenegade.com. So with 34 cars in the pit area, we will split the field down the middle. 17 will go out in Flight A of qualifying, 17 in Flight B. And the drivers in Flight A will be in heat races 1 and 2. The drivers in Flight B will be in heat races 3 and 4. 2 cars will come out at the same time. They will go for 2 laps on the clock. The best of those 2 laps will line them up for one of those aforementioned heat races. We will establish a new track record here tonight, since this is the first ever Wing 410 Sprint Car race to be held at Central Arizona Raceway, so a new track record will be established after this qualifying session. So making a couple last-minute preparations here before we send off the first 2 qualifiers. Our upcoming schedule looks like this. On Tuesday, April 1st, we head over to the Vado Speedway Park next Tuesday night. And then on Friday, April 4th, the Route 66 Motor Speedway in Amarillo, Texas. And then on Saturday, April 5th, it's the Dodge City Raceway Park in Kansas. Then we take about 3 weeks off and come back for the first Roto-Rooter Midweek Series event at Texarkana Speedway in Arkansas. Then the dirt track at Texas Motor Speedway for 2 nights. 81 Raceway on May 7th, May 8th, Lakeside, May 10th, or make that May 7th and May 9th. May 10th, Tri-City Speedway, and then May 12th, another one of those midweek series events. That is the Kokomo Speedway in Indiana. Our first 2 qualifiers are getting up to speed now, led out by the driver to Hilo, Hawaii, the J.G. Ponton Racing, Ray Ministries, Fast Track Designs, Carrick Towing, number 24P of Dalen Pereira. And also on the racetrack from Enumclaw, Washington, the Kane Screen Print, Brumos Collection, Mattman Designs, HenryCars.com, Caravan Trailers, number 9 at Kasey Kahne. Lap 1 for Dalen Pereira, 14.079, 14079. Kasey Kahne's opening lap time is a 13.049, 13049. That's to the top. Pereira, lap number 2, better, 13.739, 13739. Kasey Kahne looking for an improvement on lap number 2. He will not get it, just barely slower at 13.060. First lap better, 13.049. Meanwhile, Dalen Pereira, second overall, 13.739. So once again, these first 17 cars will be in Flight A. They will be in the same heat races together. And then we will switch things up. So Sterling Kling will be the final car in Flight A. Caleb Montgomery, first car in Flight B. Here come your next 2 qualifiers out of Gilbert, Arizona. Driving the Avanti Windows and Doors, AME Electrical, Mesquite Valley Transportation, number 19 AZ, it's Hayden Reinbold. And also on the racetrack from Clute, Texas, the Fulkins Brothers Trucking, STC, American Table, B&L Holdings, Power Plus, number 87 of Aaron Reitzel. Aaron Reitzel in the 87, Hayden Reinbold in the 19 AZ. Green flag on Reitzel as Reinbold's coming by this time by to complete his opening lap. Lap 1 for HR is going to be a 14.420, 1.4420. Lap 1 for Reitzel to the top, 12.693, 1.2693. Lap 2 for Reinbold's better, 13.948, 1.3948. Reitzel on lap number 2, he's even better, 12.617, 1.2617. Aaron Reitzel now to the top in Flight A of Capital Custom Trailer Qualifying, trying to do it in back-to-back races. Was quickest overall back at Paris last Saturday night as well. Up next from Minden, Nevada, the JST Motorsports, The Ritual, Smith Titanium Factory Kane, Maxima Racing Oils, number 88, here is Tanner Thorson. And making his Highland Racing debut from El Paso, Texas, the Bud Long Motorsports, All-Star Performance, Bird's Body Works, Visual Noise Graphics, number 45X of Don Grable. Don Grable in the 45X. Tanner Thorson to the line on lap number 1. He is third overall, 13.239, 1.3239. Don Grable on his opening lap is going to be sixth overall, 14.078. Tanner Thorson on lap number 2. He's going to slow down to a 13.328. First lap better, 13.239. And Don Grable a little sideways off the fourth corner. Lap number 2 for him is going to slow down to a 14.270. First lap better, 14.078. He is P6. Meanwhile, Tanner Thorson P3 of 6 cars so far in Flight A. Your next qualifier out of Monrovia, Indiana, the Skagit Speedway Race Shooting Foundation, Ford Performance, Hague Realty Services, number 26. This is Justin Peck. And also on the racetrack from Glendale, Arizona, the Gary Silver Ranches, Safety Clean, Moose's LZ Bar and Grill, Triple X Chassis, number 7 of Ashton Torgerson. Ashton Torgerson in the 7, Justin Peck in the 26. Justin Peck on his opening lap is going to be third quick, 13.113. Torgerson is fourth quick on lap 1, 13.236, 1.3236. Justin Peck looking for about a tenth of a second to get to second overall, and he will get it 12.958. Torgerson's better as well, 13.052. So Justin Peck is now second overall. Meanwhile, Ashton Torgerson is fourth quick of 8 cars in the first flight of Capital Custom Trailers qualifying. Next up, boy, has this guy been impressive over the last couple of weeks. From Jacksonville, Oregon, the Tarleton & Son, American Rock and Rent, Durst Incorporated, High Performance Lubricants, number 21, it's Tanner Holmes. And from Clovis, California, the Gary Silver Ranches, Smith Titanium, J.I. Apparel, MPD Racing, number 10X, it's Dominic Gordon. Dominic Gordon, the 10X, Tanner Holmes in the 21. Lap number 1 for Tanner Holmes. He is second quick, 12.821, 1.2821. Lap number 1 for Dominic Gordon. He will be 7th, 13.411, 1.3411. Lap 2 for Tanner Holmes is going to slow down, 13.093. First lap better, and second overall at 12.821. And for Dominic Gordon on lap number 2, he's up to the 6th position at 13.200, 1.3200. Dominic Gordon P6 and Tanner Holmes in second of 10 cars with 7 left to come out in Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. Filling in for Cy Lynch here tonight from Odessa, Texas, the Mercedes Motorsports, Ducati of Pittsburgh, Hollywood Blaskin Koenig, Mountain Mechanical, MAV Motorsports, number 42. Here is Josh Boffman. Josh Boffman in the 42. And from Northport, Florida, the Global Link Moxie Performance Sports Advisors Creative Products Group, number 24D, Danny Sams III. Danny Sams in 24D, Josh Boffman in car number 42. Boffman a little high off the corner. Lap 1 for him is going to be 8th overall, 13.263, 1.3263. Lap 1 for Danny Sams, third quick, 12.882, 1.2882. Good lap for Sams. Lap number 2 for Boffman. He is now 5th overall at 12.973, 1.2973. Danny Sams on lap number 2. He's going to slow down to a 12.972. First lap better, 12.882. Third quick for Danny Sams and 5th overall for Josh Boffman. 2 more qualifiers hitting the racetrack from Indianapolis, Indiana. The NOS Energy Drink, Spire Motorsports, Elliott's Custom Trailers and Carts, Brant, Gamebridge, number 7 BC. Here is Sunshine, Tyler Courtney. And from Benton, Arkansas, the Lifestyle Homes, Michael Dutcher Motorsports, MPV Logistics, Parallax Motorsports, number 17 GP of Landon Crawley. Landon Crawley in 17 GP, Tyler Courtney in 7 BC. Lap 1 for Sunshine. He is third quick, 12.879, 1:2.879. Lap 1 for Landon Crawley, 10th quick, 13.233, 1:3.233. Sunshine on lap number 2. He is second quick, 12.786, 1:2.786. Landon Crawley's second lap. He's going to improve on time, but stays in 10th at a 12.206. Make that 13.206. For Landon Crawley in the 17 GP. He is 10th overall. Meanwhile, Tyler Courtney now second quick in 7 BC with 3 more cars in Flight A. Up next from Myerstown, Pennsylvania, driving the M&M Painting and Construction, McGrew Equipment Auctions, Babs Paint, Livewire Customs. Number 19, here is Brent Marks. And also on the racetrack from Goodyear, Arizona, the MP Environmental, Jocko Sprint Parts, Black Magic Bead Breaker, Chuck D's Wieners. Number 4J, here is Tuesday Calderwood. Tuesday Calderwood in the 4J, Brent Marks in the 19. Lap 1 for Marks is going to be 5th overall, 12.919, 1:2.919. Lap 1 for Tuesday, she will be third quick, make that 13th quick, 13.600, 1:3.600. Lap number 2 for Brent Marks, he's now 4th overall, 12.865, 1:2.865. And for Calderwood, she's faster on lap number 2, stays 13th overall at 13.495. So Tuesday Calderwood is 13th and Brent Marks is 4th. With 1 more car left to qualify in Flight A. Your final qualifier in Flight A is from Tempe, Arizona. He drives the All-Star Performance DRC Chassis Z-Max. Number 34 here is Sterling Kling. Sterling Kling in car number 34. Sterling Kling, a 2-time winner here with the ASCS Arizona Non-Wing Series. Came back in 2023 and in 2020. Lap 1 for Kling is 12th overall at 13.225, 13.225. Did see Sterling Kling back at Las Vegas at the season opener. He was 20th in that main event. Lap 2 for Sterling. He's now 9th overall, 13.052, tied with Ashton Torgerson for that position. But Kling, his second lap was faster, so he is 9th. But Aaron Reitzel, the fastest overall in Flight A of qualifying tonight at 12.617 seconds. That is a new track record as of right now for Reitzel, Tyler Courtney, Tanner Holmes, Brent Marks, and Danny Sams. The top 5 in your opening flight with 1 more left to come out. 17 more cars to qualify. Qualifying next from St. Helena, California, driving the Rico Abreu, Kerbag Genie Racing, Pacific Boring, Stadelhofer Construction, Waste Connections, ArcZone.com, number 24, it's Rico Abreu. And from Templeton, California, the David Cry Engineering, MP Environmental, Luxton Real Estate, Woodland on display, number 3 of Caleb Montgomery. Caleb Montgomery in the 3, Rico Abreu in the 24. Lap 1 for Rico is a 12.716, 1:2.716. About a 10th off the time of Reitzel. Lap number 1 for Caleb Montgomery, 13.243, 1:3.243. Rico Abreu on lap number 2. He is going to slow down just barely to a 12.735. First one better, 12.716. And for Caleb Montgomery on lap number 2, he's better, 13.222, 1:3.222 for Caleb Montgomery. In car number 3, he is second. Meanwhile, Rico Abreu shows the way early on in Flight B of qualifying. The current series point leader now makes his way onto the racetrack from Grass Valley, California, the Napa Auto Parts, Brumo's Collection, Durst Incorporated, Factory Cane, Self-Storage at Tahali. Number 49, here is the Big Cat, Brad Sweet. And from Enumclaw, Washington, the PGH Excavating, Stylers Concrete, Missile Motorsports, Big Mountain Enterprises. Number 19T, it is Colby Thornhill. Colby Thornhill in 19T, Brad Sweet in 49. Lap 1 for Sweet, he is going to be second quick, 12.842, 1:2.842. Thornhill's opening lap, he is third quick, 13.166, 1:3.166. Lap number 2 for Brad Sweet. He is going to improve on lap time, but stays second overall at 12.825. And Thornhill's second lap is going to improve as well, or actually he's going to slow down to a 13.292. The first one better, 13.166. So Brad Sweet second and Colby Thornhill third of your first 4 qualifiers during Flight B of Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. Here is the DJ of the night from Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Pella Avanti Windows and Doors, Big Spring Car Wash, Water Treatment by Design, number 13 of Dason Persley. And from Lubbock, Texas, the Horizon Whiskey, Nice Crete Landis Block, ShopTruckParts.com, PhilPools.com, number 5 of Brenham Crouch. Both drivers tonight in their Central Arizona Speedway debut. Lap 1 for Persley, he's going to be third quick, 12.841, 1.2841. Lap 1 for Brenham Crouch, he is second quick, 12.811, 12.811. On lap 1 for Brenham Crouch, lap number 2 for Dason Persley, he'll slow down to a 12.956. First one better, 12.841. Brenham Crouch, second time by, he'll slow down to a 12.945. The first lap was better in second overall at 12.811. For car number 5, Brenham Crouch. Qualifying next from Lebanon, Indiana, the Sandra Engineering, Four Seas Construction, Tally, Autry Plumbing, Sincal Demolition, number 14 of Spencer Baston. And also on the racetrack from Tucson, Arizona, the Parker Automotive, Metal Tech Fabrication, TDR Concepts, BG Oil, number 15 of Nick Parker. Nick Parker in the 15, Spencer Baston in the 14. Baston on lap 1, 5th overall, 13.028, 13028. Nick Parker, his first time by, will be a 13.655, 13655. Baston on lap 2, he will slow down, 13.086. First lap slightly better, 13.028 for car number 14. Lap 2 for Nick Parker, he will improve on speed but stays 8th overall, 13.558, 13558 for Nick Parker in the 15. And Spencer Baston is 5th overall, with 9 cars left to qualify here tonight. Couple of drivers making their High Limit Racing debut here tonight, led out by the driver from Tempe, Arizona, the Jan's Metalworks, Beard Vet Coffee, Mazatol Dirtworks, Interstate Wreck Rebuilders, number 44 of JT Imperial. And also on the racetrack from Cottonwood, Arizona, the Black Hills Auto Electric, Mike's Resto Rods, Interstate Batteries, Hanson's Tools, number 17, Ryan Walter has gone around in turn 4. So Ryan Walter has spun the 17 car in turn number 4. Did hear Tony Laporta earlier on mention that this was his 410 sprint car debut here this evening. Just his 10th career wing sprint car start for Ryan Walter here tonight. He was 6th here with the ASCS Southwest region here in 2023. Has 2 career top 10s with that series here at Central Arizona Raceway.
Chase, he's also got Robbie Allen helping out with him, and folks from around this area probably know that name. Robbie Allen's been racing and owning cars, competing in the USAC CRA and now the Wild West Sprint Car Series for quite a while now. He's had Kasey Schumann drive for him. He's had Jerry Coons Jr. drive for him. He's had a lot of big names that have come out of the Southwest region in the United States drive for him. And yeah, when you talk to Ryan Walter, the 38-year-old out of Cottonwood, this is the start of his 3rd year in winged sprint car racing action, and he just loves it, tries to do it as much as he can, doesn't have any real full-time series help traveling around with him here in Arizona, but he's honored, he says, to be out here racing it, and really, really looking forward to learning as much as he can during a weekend of Kubota High Limit Racing.
Yeah, good stuff there, Tony. As Ryan Walter trying to refire the car in turn number 3. And it does refire, so neither him or JT Imperial have been able to get a qualifying lap in quite yet. Imperial, well known around these parts here, usually drives a number 75 car. He was 2nd here last year with the Power i360 Series, including 6 top 5 finishes. Had a POWRi 360 win at Vado Speedway Park last year. For JT Imperial, he is on the clock now along with Ryan Walter. JT Imperial going to come across the line on his opening qualifying lap, and it's going to be 9th overall, 13.577, 1:35.77. Lap 1 for Ryan Walter, 14.637, 1:46.37. Lap number 2 for JT Imperial up to 8th quick overall, 13.431, 1:34.31. And Ryan Walter on lap number 2. He will improve on lap time, stays 10th overall, 14.409, 1:4.409. So Imperial 8th and Ryan Walter in 10th. That 44 car driven by Imperial, very well-known sponsor on the side of that car, and the car owner as well usually fields 2 or so midgets at the Chili Bowl every year. Last year had Colton Hardy in the car, along with, I want to say, Max Adams as well. Eric Wilkins has driven that midget before at the Chili Bowl Nationals. And now JT Imperial running the 410 wing sprint car for him as well here tonight. 7 more cars left to qualify. Next out onto the racetrack, coming to us out of Hollister, California, the NOS Energy Drink, Inland Rigging, MP Environmental, Woodland Auto Display, number 73. Here is Ryan Burnell. Ryan Burnell in the 73. And also on the racetrack from Cobble Hill, British Columbia, Canada, the Shark Engines, Grinders Automotive and Marine, Saratoga Motorsports Park, Malahat Auto Wrecking, number 21P, it's Robbie Price. Robbie Price in the 21P. Both drivers making their Central Arizona Speedway debuts. Lap 1 for Ryan Burnell, 6th overall, 13.126, 1:31.26. Robbie Price on lap 1, 9th overall, 13.260, 1:32.60. Ryan Burnell, lap number 2. He's going to slow down to a 13.247. First lap was better, 13.126. Robbie Price now up to 6th at 13.054, 1:30.54. So Robbie Price on his second lap jumps up to 6th overall, and Ryan Burnell 7th. Of 12 cars. 6th in their flight, I will add. Not 6th overall, 6th in their flight as we continue on. 2 more cars. One of them is our Race Reading Foundation Rookie of the Year contender out of Waco, Texas, the all-ball your alternative, infamous 8 Bush's Chicken, Flint Rock Ranch, Easy Print number 9R. Here is Chase Randall. And from Tempe, Arizona, the Lori Kiao, Coors Light Gang, CNR Machine, Apache Transport, number 2 of Alex Pettis. Alex Pettis in the 2, Chase Randall in 9R. Lap 1 for Randall, he is 12, 13.600, 1:36.00. Alex Pettis on lap number 1, 13th at a 13.867, 1:38.67. Lap number 2 for Chase Randall, looking for an improvement. He will find it 9th quick at 13.208. And Alex Pettis on lap 2, he is better as well. Stays 13th, however, 13.634. For car number 2, meanwhile, Chase Randall 9th quick with a lap time of 13.208 seconds. Three more cars to qualify out of Altoona, Iowa. The Country Builders Construction, Ochoco West, Bosma Family Farms, Tucker Trucking, number 88. Here is the big unit, Austin McCarl. And also on the racetrack from Billings, Montana, the CNL Service, JJM Performance, Felt Clothing, Big Sky Speedway, number 28 of Joe Perry. Joe Perry in the 28, Austin McCarl in the 88W. McCarl does have some experience here at this racetrack, was 4th in 2023 at the ASCS Southwest region. Lap 1 for Austin is 7th quick, 13.123, 1:31.23. And for Joe Perry, he is 15th overall, 13.675, 1:36.75. Lap 2 for Austin McCarl. He's faster but stays 7th, 13.113. And for Joe Perry, he is going to slow down to a 13.746. The first lap was better at 13.675. So Austin McCarl 7th and Joe Perry 15th here in Flight B. As we bring out our final qualifier of the night from Monroe, Washington, the Upland Developers, Crawford's Auto Repair, Affordable Powder Coating, CoastalRaceParts.com. Number 8, here is Jake Helzel. Jake Helzel in car number 8. Helzel tonight, as we mentioned at the top of the show, his High Limit Racing debut and his 410 Sprint Car debut as well. Lap 1 for Jake Helsel is going to be 15th overall, 13.673, 1.3673. Helsel, a winner here last year twice with the PowerRide 360 Series. Lap number 2 for Jake Helsel will improve to 13th overall at 13.523, 1.3523. And here comes the parade of quads, along with some mules as well, to go pick up their cars in the infield. And that is it for Capital Custom Trailer qualifying tonight. How about it for Aaron Reitzel, your fast qualifier here this evening in the 12.67 bracket. That is his 3rd fast time of the year and his 2nd in a row. Got one at Paris last Saturday, another quick time as well at the Thunder Bowl in Tulare, California. And Reitzel, the only driver, it just so happens to be he's the only driver that's had experience here in the past. He ends up at the top of the speed charts in Flight A of Capital Custom Trailer qualifying. And that car was straight as an arrow around the Central Arizona Raceway here tonight. And he will have a great shot to put himself into tonight's dash as the drivers and teams will make their way back to the pit area and prepare themselves for heat race competition, which is coming up after this break here on FloRacing.
Introducing the My Kubota app. With My Kubota, connecting with your local dealer is easier than ever. Find them with just a tap and contact them quickly for any assistance you need. Access comprehensive resources like how-to